Welcome! In the last episode, we visited maybe one of the last peaceful planets in the entire galaxy, and made it a little less peaceful, pissing off everyone, including the Jedi. In this episode, we visit Space Switzerland. What is Space Switzerland? Well, none other than the planet of Manaan, of course. Why is Space Switzerland? Because they are the sole harvesters and producers of a substance called colto. What is colto? Colto is a medical substance used in a variety of treatments around the galaxy. Why is colto? Not doing this fucking bit again. The point I'm trying to say is that Manaan has uniquely guaranteed their neutrality in the greater raging war in the galaxy, as they have threatened to blow up their stockpile of colto, as well as all their manufacturing plants if either side of the war was to attack them. Basically turning themselves into a useless water world with these wacky looking creatures on it. So both sides need to play ball in this fickle peace, or else. So what are we doing here? Well, we were sent by the Jedi Council to hunt for one of the pieces of the Starmap. But why am I really here? Chaos! We begin by asking E-Girl what the fuck her deal is. She responds that she is interested in our bond, for which, being the man with the biggest balls, takes it as her trying to get in my pants. Her reaction was unnecessarily convoluted, but I pay it no mind. I'd much sooner rather root Zalbar than her, because at least Zalbar is useful. Please do not look any further into that statement. Afterwards, I look around the ship and realize that our supplies are quickly dwindling, and soon I find the cause to be a stowaway girl who doesn't speak a lick of basic. Realizing that she's a stowaway from Taris, you know, that planet that doesn't really exist anymore, I decide to do the best thing for her. Boot her out of my ship and leave her on a water planet in the middle of nowhere. Serves her right. Finally, after dicking around on my ship for a while, we enter Ahto City, where we immediately see an altercation between both a Republic and Sith trooper, for which the Republic trooper gets immediately mopped after the Sith drop this banger of a line.
Ha! Don't make me laugh, you gutless simp.
We also learn that the Selkath people of Manaan have a strict no tomfoolery law, where any altercations between the two parties must be settled in a court, and even the most minor of incidents may result in the aggressor's side being put in the naughty corner with no access to colto. We finally reach border security, where the very cordial Selkath welcomes me and hopes that I follow the rules of the city, to where I immediately call those laws and his entire race pathetic. Oh dear. He then pretty much hits me with a right back at ya and tells me that I must obey the laws of the city, otherwise I will be forcefully deported. He also adds that any colto smuggling is punishable by death, as well as anything that may threaten their neutrality status in the war. I then get fucking extorted for 100 credits simply for landing on this shithole, and I am unable to haggle down the price, making my already sour relationship with these fishy fucks even worse. We soon arrive at a bar of sorts, where barman tells me an interesting tidbit of information. A swoop bike competition is being held on Manaan, with big money prizes waiting to be won. I try telling them that I know a thing or two about swoop bikes, as I once got first place in a swoop bike race to save E-Girl. Go watch the first episode if you haven't. Just for them to tell me that information didn't travel fast enough before Taris' destruction, so my reputation is pretty much back to square one. My first opponent is Queedle, a local amateur racer with a time to beat of 23:82, for which we do rather handily and secure a nice 500 credits for our win. Our next opponent is Cassandra Mateel, who is just an absolute bitch and shit talks me the entire time. We'll see you shit talking when your record gets turned to mud, bitch. After collecting my 2,000 credits, I return to Gloat, which then turns into me threatening and trying to extort her for some reason. Don't ask me, man, I don't know. The final opponent in the swoop race is the sector champion, Hukta Jax, who threatens me and tells me that if I take his position, there will be big trouble. I then proceed to take his position and the 5,000 credits along with it. Again, I return to Gloat, where Hukta says that I have made a grave mistake and that he will have his revenge when I least expect it. Continuing on, we stumble across the Republic Embassy looking for someone who is able to assist us in finding the Starmap. But before that, right quick, follow me on Twitter, Instagram, and I don't know, fucking Clash Royale clan. And like and subscribe as the video, thank you. Here we meet Roland Wan, the representative of the Republic on Ahto City. He says he is able to point us in the right direction, only if we help him first. Our Republic submersible drone has been stolen by the Sith, with super secret information that they don't want leaked to the government. I get offered 3 ways to reclaim the information. I either hack into a keycard so I can gain legitimate access into the Sith Embassy, raid one of their hangar bays and use a transport to enter, or torture a mercenary into giving us the passcode. Naturally, I choose the funny option. This rather innocent mercenary is then drugged up with truth serum that basically turns his brain to mush and told that we will kill his wife if he doesn't start talking. And that's another stellar success, boys. Entering the Sith Embassy under the guise of business, I immediately get called out for not fitting in. I then tell a bullshit lie about having higher authority, which, doesn't work, and the whole thing goes a bit tits up real quick. My team then proceeds to clear the entire Sith Embassy, killing everyone inside and retrieving the drone data, only to exit and then be told that I am under arrest for causing a disturbance, and get dragged away to prison. After a while, the Selkath named Boilas approaches me in my cell, and pretty much tells me that I have rights, and that he's been placed in charge of my defense. After asking a total of 2 questions about my side of the story, he determines that that is enough for a proper defense. After watching enough lawyer shows, that being 5 episodes of Better Call Saul and nothing else, I know that this level of defense will not end well on my part and opt to defend myself. On a foreign world, with no idea of the law. I'm sure I'll be fine. After being found innocent, I head back to the Republic Embassy to let them know what I have found. Roland then tells us what the drone was actually doing beneath the waves. Turns out the Republic had made an agreement with a few Republic sympathizing Selkath in the government to try and synthesize Culto, one of the big no-nos from earlier. But anyway, turns out that this is a really bad idea as something unforeseen happened that resulted in the entire base losing contact with the surface. I also get told that there was a relic of unknown origin down by the base, and that this relic might be the Starmap that I was looking for. And with that, we set down into the deep. Holy shit, this is like that one video. Once we arrive, we are greeted by one of the mercenaries that the Republic sent that gives us a bit more background on what happened. Turns out, for some unknown reason, the Selkath went sicko mode and started killing everyone. After realizing he was too off the perk, and more so just for the hell of it, I put him down. Proceeding through the base, we can find an assortment of deadly droids and infected Selkath, all looking to rip the flesh from our bones. Also, this dude who's just hiding in a closet.
You can't get me, little Fishy. Nothing here. I'm safe behind my walls.
I made the right choice there, don't judge me. We now come to the best part of the Manaan storyline, where we traverse the ocean floor at the pace of a snail in this fuck-off sized scuba suit. But while down here, we just meet some dude, just chillin' at the bottom of the ocean. But he seems fine, so I hope nothing bad happens. After our long-ass walking sequence, I stumble across the next section of the facility, where I encounter 2 scientists that are somehow still alive. Not exactly a swell introduction, as they attempt to gas me. They inform me that the true reason for the Selkath going insane was the awakening of a great beast who fed off the Culto to become incredibly large and strong. I am given 2 options to deal with it. I either shut down the machinery, ensuring that the Culto and the waters around the facility remain pure, and the creature will leave on its own. Or I can inject experimental chemicals into the Culto supply to poison the beast, and probably everything else around the facility. And come on, at this point, you already know what decision I'm picking. Oh yeah, also I killed them. L. After poisoning the beast, the path is clear to approach the Starmap, and I claim one of the pieces I need for galactic domination. Unexpectedly, on our way back to the submersible, we meet Calo Nord again. Holy shit, Manaan is just giving me so many opportunities to promote other videos. I tell him he's come a long way to die and make good on that claim. After returning back to the surface, I return to Roland with the bad news, and he tells me that the operation has failed and needs to be kept entirely secret. All for me to walk a whole 2 feet out the door and be stopped again by the Manaan authorities, who told me that the flow of Culto to the surface has been cut off and any that does arrives tainted. Once again, I'm dragged off to court to answer for my crimes. Understandably, they believe that the cutoff of Kolto was my doing, and that I am an existential threat to their entire way of life. Sheesh, that's not a good start. I then immediately pull out of my ass that the Sith were actually the ones that poisoned the Kolto, and that some Selkath were helping them. This naturally causes a bit of outrage in the court, and it causes one of the Selkath to let slip that they had facilities down there in the rift, and they knew that no Sith were actually present. After causing likely one of the most serious diplomatic incidents in the galaxy, I am basically let off with a slap on the wrist, and simply not allowed in their shitty little city anymore. To which I have to say, fuck you, Manaan. You will not be missed. To be continued next time.